2023 CFL Winter Meetings one-on-one with Edmonton Elks Assistant General Manager Geroy Simon, who does not ski or snowboard. We're in the mountains, so everybody just needed to know that. But you've already been out on the road, man. That's just what Chris Jones and you do. You guys grind. Mm-hmm. Have you found any gems that you think are going to be the next stars of the green and gold yet?
Yeah, we've been, we're constantly looking, constantly trying to find the next guy, find guys that'll help our team. We've signed a few guys up to this point that we feel are going to be, they're going to push some of our veterans and possibly be big assets for our team.
And you signed some big pieces on offense. Taylor Cornelius, of course, the extension, Kevin Brown, Dylan Mitchell. But I'm most curious to ask you about Mitchell because it seemed like he really burst on the scene, of course, with your epic, great receiving background. What do you see as his potential with the Elks?
I think Dylan can be one of the top guys in the league this year. Just seeing the work that he put in last year. When we brought him in, we knew that he had talent, but, from day one, he was doing things that were making everybody go ooh and ah. So the season he had last year was just a little bit of a taste of what he's going to do. I think he has a better understanding of the league and what we expect of him. So I see Dylan as being a guy that, I kind of see some of myself in him because the way he runs, he's really smooth in his route running. He doesn't panic when the ball comes. He doesn't look like he's running real fast, but he's always behind the defender. So I really like what he brings to the table. He's he's a young guy that'll bring some leadership to us.
Edmonton gave him a pretty nice pay bump. I think he's up around $150,000. Yeah. You correct me if I'm wrong, but that would seem to be number one receiver type money. Is that how the Elks view him going into 23?
Yeah, just like I said, the way that he came in and the things that he did in the short amount of time that he got an opportunity to play. One, we didn't want him to take the shot at the NFL, and he wanted to show his commitment to us, and so we rewarded him with a new contract because he going forward, if he does some of those things, he'll be a top tier receiver in the league. So why not? We always project in this league anyway, so we projected him as being a top guy, so we paid him like a top guy from last year.
How rare is that you have a guy that knows he could have NFL opportunities? That's not a certainty, obviously. Right. But he decides to sign with you and stay for sure, at least for another year.
Well, there were some things that he felt that he wanted to show his commitment to us for, when he was on the street. We gave him an opportunity and told him, we're going to bring you in and we're going to take care of you in the right way. So he wanted to show his commitment, that's also for us. It's a recruiting tool because we give a guy a longer term deal as a rookie, we know that if they outperform that deal, if they show us the loyalty, we'll show the same loyalty and reward them with the new contract.
What's it been like for you working with Chris Jones? That first full season together, he's such a character. I feel like everybody around the league is always wondering what he's up to. But you've been on the inside. You've been almost attached at the hip. What's it been like?
It's been a great experience. I've known Chris for a long time. I know what he's all about, and everything is about football and everything is about winning. So when I got the opportunity to come to Edmonton, when he gave me the job, I knew what I was getting into, and I knew that we were going to grind. And that's the thing with me. I love football. I love the grind. I love the work that it takes to put together a championship team. And like I said, everything he does, it's about the football team and winning. So I feel like I got about 5 years worth of being a GM in 1 year, but it's something that you can't buy that experience that I got last year, and I love the process of it. Obviously, I wanted to win more games, but I think that's going to make us stronger in the long run. But because the work we put in, not only leading up to last year, but during the season and after we got eliminated from the playoff contention and before we all left Edmonton, we put a lot of work in, and now we're starting to reap those rewards of the work we put in.
You've been outspoken, and you obviously want to be a GM someday and sit in the big chair. What knowledge have you gained from Chris Jones to help you when you do get there?
The biggest thing is learning. I know I had my ways of finding players, but he gave me a better understanding of how to find players, where to find players, the type of things that you need to do to close players. So like I said, it's all been a learning process, and I would say the biggest takeaway is figuring out how to find players and where to look for them.
And I asked Chris this himself as well. Usually the fans there in Edmonton come out in droves, right? But we've seen the attendance go down, although it seemed like at the end of the season, the team was starting to show some exciting signs, right? Some better competitive football. You saw what Kevin Brown could do. Taylor Cornelius is out there juking defensive backs, outrunning defensive backs. Dylan Mitchell's making plays. Do you guys feel like you're putting a team together that can excite fans and bring them back to Commonwealth Stadium? And if so, why?
Well, I think it's this kind of a few parts, but when we got the job last year, we inherited a team that was had one characteristics. We had to bring our own identity to the team. So there was some players coming and some players going. As the season went on, we felt like Taylor's development was coming, and he did a great job of becoming a professional, doing the things that's going to take to be successful. We found Dylan, we found Kevin Brown, we solidified our offensive line. So by the end of the season, you could see signs of us, putting it all together. The identity piece is starting to come together. We need a couple more pieces to take us in the right direction, and I think we started that with the signing of Luchez Purifoy. I think he's going to be a leader in our secondary, not only in our secondary but in the locker room. So building a team, you can't do it. It's very hard to do it overnight, but I think that we're on the right track, and I think this year's version of the Edmonton Elks is going to be very different from last year. And I think we're going to win, and I think we're going to win big. So, and as far as the fan piece, when you win, people will come. Obviously there's some things that need to happen as far as the business side of things, but I think along with us winning and some of the plans that the league has for bringing fans back out, I think it's going to be a recipe for big fans and a lot of wins in Edmonton.
Hopefully, because it's a big stadium there
For sure.
at Commonwealth. I want to go back to your time in BC for a second, because you were there when the team drafted Nathan Rourke, who was, for my money, the storyline of the 2022 CFL season. He's now got a double-digit number of NFL workouts, has a bunch of interest from all around the league. First and foremost, did you see this coming from Mr. Rourke, what he did in just about half a season with BC last year?
I don't think I saw the success that he had. I knew that he can be a very good quarterback in our league. I knew that he could eventually be a starter, but I don't think anybody could foresee the amount of success that he had in a short period of time as being a starter last year. Obviously, I was running the draft when we drafted him. I'd gone to Ohio and seen him a few times, and I saw the potential that he had. And there was at times there was a little bit of pushback about drafting Canadian quarterback, but I think the way we sold it is we just said, look, close your eyes and don't imagine and don't think about what type of flag he has. It's not an American flag, it's not a Canadian flag. Just look at the player. Look at the way he throws the ball. Look at the way he leads the offense. Look at the skill set he has. And I think that was the thing that pushed us over the edge to draft him. And give him the opportunity, eventually to be the starter. Like I said, I don't think anybody could foresee the amount of success he had, but you knew that he has the characteristics to be a good player in this league and a starter.
You hit a little bit of a sensitive spot there when you say Canadian quarterback and pushback.
Right.
Why was there some pushback just because of that designation?
Well, I think the way the league has with the amount of Canadians you can have on the roster, and if he's going to be a starter, and if he's going to take up a roster spot. So there's a little bit of not clear. We weren't clear on how we could use a guy like that. But now we can see that a Canadian starter can be one of your 7, and normally they're Canadian quarterbacks are in a position that we typically have on our roster. So now I think that that has kind of gone out of the window, because you have the Rourkes, you have Michael O'Connor's, and now we have Trey Ford, and I think for us, we're going to put the best players out there, whether they're Canadian or American. It doesn't matter. So I think everybody's minds is starting to change on the Canadian quarterback, and more guys will have opportunities to get on the field and play.
Can Rourke make an impact in the NFL? And have NFL teams asked you about him because you were so integral in that draft process with BC?
Well, now that I've been away from BC, I haven't talked to a ton of teams about him, but I think Rourke is better than half the guys down there. He just needs the opportunity. He's not going to wow you in practice. He's not going to wow you in a workout. But if you look at some of the things that he does on the field, he gets the ball out fast. He's very accurate. And on his deep balls, he doesn't have a cannon arm where he's going to throw it 70 yards down the field. But, he gets the ball out quick so guys can run under it. And he's, like I said, he's very accurate. So I think he can do some great things down there if given the opportunity.
I just thought about this right now. You might be my favorite guy in the CFL, because with BC, you drafted a Canadian quarterback, and with Edmonton, you drafted a Canadian quarterback, the highest one, or ties the record for the highest one ever selected in the CFL draft with Trey Ford. He's had multiple NFL workouts. Have you talked to NFL teams about him? If so, what's the feedback been like, and what information are you giving to them?
I think with Trey, he just needs to learn the American game, and that's where because there's even though it's just football, it's dropping back, it's throwing to open targets and being accurate. He can do all those things. I think with him, he'll have to learn to identify fronts down there. I think he'll have to learn to read safeties as opposed to read the different reads up here. But I think once he gets a little more seasoned in playing and opportunities on the field, I think he can also have an opportunity to go south and play well.
Does it help that he has those outstanding athletic traits, speed being one of them,
Exactly.
and could be a package guy while he develops? And I sort of say that thinking that he went and worked out for the New England Patriots. They're there with Bill Belichick. It seems like if you get worked out by New England, some other teams take notice.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think Trey's skill set is very unique. Running sub 4.5, almost 4.3. And he can throw the ball with accuracy. He has zip on his ball. Like I said, I think it's more the mental side for him. But if you put him on the field, he's going to outrun every linebacker that's out there. He's going to run every defensive end. So he could be a package guy down there to have a little bit of change up, because he's not a prototypical quarterback in the U.S.
Gotta say thank you for sharing some time and insight, especially about those Canadian quarterbacks.
For sure, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.